Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment of our program is brought to you by Express Frame. As you know, it has been a very weird year, no doubt. So weird that many recent graduates are just now getting their diplomas in the middle of July. Want to show that thing off in a beautiful fashion? Take it by Express Frame on Peters Road. You will love the work they do. They do a great job with diplomas every single year. Take yours by there. Look at the different things they can do for you. It'll be protected forever and it will look great. Express Frame, right out there, the Common Shopping Center, Peters Road. Okay, basketball writer Jeff Goodman this week thought this was interesting. Listed his top 9 teams in this year's SEC Hoops race in a tweet. It turned some heads, to say the least. He didn't have Tennessee as the favorite, or Kentucky, or Auburn. He sees Alabama as the SEC's best team this year. In case you've forgotten, Alabama went 16-15 last year, went 8-10 in the league. They have added a 5-star point guard and 3 other newcomers, but is their roster on paper better than Tennessee's? Or Arkansas, Florida, Kentucky?
No, and I'm not. I don't know if the way they play is sustainable either. I mean, the way they jack up threes at such a high rate. Maybe they can play differently if they have a little bit different roster this year, but I don't see them. I don't see them having the quality of depth, but I don't think they compared to Tennessee, not over a long haul. And I think Tennessee has a more proven coach as well, and Oates has done great, but I'm not sure that they're there yet with their roster.
You had an observation you made off air. Come on, that's not a bad
observation. Okay, sure. Yeah, it could very well be that Nate Oates is great at giving information to some of the national beat writers. I mean, that really is how people form their opinions sometimes. I've seen it. It's not just a national guy.
That's an odd pick, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a July pick. I think Alabama's going to be much improved. Nate Oates has done a really nice job of beefing up that roster in a short time. I think Arkansas is going to be much better. I didn't see Texas A&M on that list. I think they're going to be better.
I think they were just under Arkansas. Could we put that list back up? You asked me in between segments. I thought Arkansas was higher on his list than he had.
Arkansas was 5th, I think, maybe.
No, he doesn't have Texas A&M on there. Yeah.
So
wow.
I just think there's been some good coaches coming into the league, and it's going to be a very good league. And I think Alabama's going to be a tough out, but I don't think they're going to be number 1 on March the 8th.
Yeah, I think the league is moving in a more positive direction with depth and overall talent. I don't think the tide's going to turn that much, but
nice.
Yeah.
That's all I should do there. It's good.
So I would probably move Alabama down. I would move Kentucky up. I'd continue to bet on Bruce Pearl, so I would move Auburn up on that list. But I do think it's going to be better at the top, and I think it's going to be deeper in the SEC starting this year, really.
Yeah. Tennessee did get a bit of good news. We talked about it last week, and it was in the news this week after we talked about it. We mentioned the fact that the government had put out they had modified their plans to where international students, if your school went to online classes only, international kids were getting kicked out of the country. In Tennessee's situation, where you got 4 potential internationals there in Kamwa, Pons, Plavsic, and Santiago Vescovi, when you've got that many guys, you could have been without. Even if you played ball, but you went to online classes, you could have been without those guys. The government has now backtracked on that to where that's not going to be an issue, even if Tennessee goes online only. Now, they are at more than 50% online classes, it looks like. Who knows if that will change, but they're not 100% at this point. But anyway, we mentioned it last week, so I wanted to bring it up again that got changed this week, right after we mentioned it last Sunday. So one last headache, at least, out of the millions of headaches that are out there, including will there be a season, there's one less thing for Vol fans to worry about, and that's their international.
They got Euros back on campus this week, I think, so from Serbia.
And a birthday for Rick Barnes this past week as well.
Very good. All right, when we come back, Tennessee could have a VFL on the Board of Trustees who's coaching another school. Should that be the case? Is there a conflict of interest there? We'll discuss that. Come on back on the Sports Show.